Russia needs a strong state power and must have it. But I am not calling for totalitarianism. Russia will not soon become, if it ever becomes, a second copy of the United States or England, where liberal values have deep historic roots. No references to the need to fight terror can be an argument for restricting human rights. Nobody and nothing will stop Russia on the road to strengthening democracy and ensuring human rights and freedoms. Our aims are absolutely clear. They are a high living standard in the country and a secure, free and comfortable life. The path towards a free society has not been simple. There are tragic and glorious pages in our history. The strengthening of our statehood is, at times, deliberately interpreted as authoritarianism. To pay more is the easy way. In fact, the solution possibilities to the problem are many. Terrorism has once again shown it is prepared deliberately to stop at nothing in creating human victims. An end must be put to this. As never before, it is vital to unite forces of the entire world community against terror. We don't need a weakened government but a strong government that would take responsibility for the rights of the individual and care for the society as a whole. I see that not everyone in the West has understood that the Soviet Union has disappeared from the political map of the world and that a new country has emerged with new humanist and ideological principles at the foundation of its existence. Russia does not want confrontation of any kind, and we will not take part in any kind of holy alliance. Political activities in Russia should be as transparent as possible. Financing political activities from abroad is something the state should keep an eye on. Stalinism is linked with a cult of personality and massive violations of the law, with repression and camps. There is nothing like that in Russia and, I hope, will never again be. Terrorists are always a threat to someone. If we'll be scared of them, it means they have won. For Russia, there is not and there may not be another political option but democracy. However, Russian democracy is not at all the realization of standards imposed on us from outside. No one wants the United Nations to suffer the fate of the League of Nations, which collapsed because it lacked real leverage. This is possible if influential countries bypass the United Nations and take military action without Security Council authorization. We need to use the United Nations Security Council and believe that preserving law and order in today's complex and turbulent world is one of the few ways to keep international relations from sliding into chaos. The law is still the law, and we must follow it whether we like it or not. I love the Russian classics very much, the Russian classical literature. But I also read modern literature. As far as Russian literature is concerned, I am very fond of Tolstoy and Chekhov, and I also enjoy reading Gogol very much. I go to the gym. I swim daily, and from time to time I meet with friends and do extracurricular stuff. Economic activity is moving from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. Russia has a certain natural advantage because it also borders the Pacific Ocean. It's a historical phenomenon that in 250 years, a nation could move from a colony into the most prosperous nation of the world and the leader of the world. It is indeed an achievement, a tribute to the talent of the American nation, the American people, and an optimal political and economic system. I think every person should have some faith inside him, in his heart. What matters is not an external display of this faith, but the inner state of the soul. I read papers, try to watch news programs on television, but, as a rule, record it. During the day I have no time for that, so I watch something taped. As for the newspapers, I try to get through them every day. Additionally, of course, I look through news bulletins. Journalism, as concerns collecting information, differs little if at all from intelligence work. In my judgment, a journalist's job is very interesting. In accordance with the Constitution of the Russian Federation, the issues of foreign policy and defense are fully in the hands of the president. There are both things in international law: the principle of territorial integrity and right greater than to self-determination. Despite all the achievements of civilization, the human being is still one of the most vulnerable creatures on Earth. We should not just consume hydrocarbon fuel but use it to develop nuclear energy, hydropower, and renewable energy sources. We have always behaved, and we will continue to behave, in a responsible way. We intend to participate in the elaboration of common rules in the energy sector and to abide by rules which are developed together. What is a Rechtsstaat? It is obedience to the existing law. If you want my personal attitude, I would tell you that I don't care about a person's sexual. At least in Russia, you cannot just go and tap into someone's phone conversation without a warrant issued by court. That's more or less the way a civilized society should go about fighting terrorism.